channel, guys. What's in the killer? Don't forget the ghost. We got a disturbing breakdowns for you guys. It's something new, you know what I'm saying? If you like it, then let me know. If you don't, let me know. But don't forget, like, comment if you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on post notifications, again. Let's hop to the video.
Welcome to the breakdown. We break down all the messed up shit.
Hopefully y'all like it.
Today, we're looking at Pulse, released in 2001, directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Kurosawa brings us a ghost story in which two young and lonely individuals are contacted and haunted by spiritual phenomena that uses the internet or technology in general as an outlet. Now, honestly, this isn't the kind of disturbing that we usually dive into, but it's a little disturbing in its own way. Another reason we are talking about Pulse today is because we're doing our first collaboration with another channel. Clap that up. We are lucky enough to be able to cover Pulse alongside Cinema Nippon, the channel that creates critical reviews of various Japanese films. We would both love it if after you see this video, you could check out their installment of Pulse to view an excellent explanation of Kiyoshi Kurosawa, the film, and what Kurosawa was communicating beneath the frames. So Pulse is a ghost horror story contemplating eternal loneliness. As usual, if you want to see what happens, including all the messed up parts, stay tuned for the breakdown. Pulse begins with people on a ship. A storm seems to be on the way, but this girl here, she stares blankly in the distance. Let's start from the beginning with what she is contemplating. That girl is named Kuro Michi, and she works alongside Sasano Junko and Toshio Yabe. They work with someone else too, but he didn't come to work today, or in the past week. He's been taking some time off, and Junko is quite worried. Their co-worker, Taguchi, is working on a computer disk, and they need it soon. So our main girl, Michi, decides to roll up to his apartment and check on him. Pretty empty bus and environment in general. Fine-ass Michi walks up on Taguchi's door, but looks like the entire room needs to be restarted. No answer, so she soon finds his spare key and lets herself in, and gathers evidence for the upcoming class trial. She's looking for the computer disk and her co-worker, but looks like he's cryptically looking out the window over there. Other than being a little awkward, he seems to be just fine, and lets her know that computer disk is on the desk over there. But where did he go this time? Michi's fine ass seems to have some good intuition to know things is pretty weird around her all the time. She looks around for Taguchi, and this time she finds him hanging. He killed himself pretty quick and without resistance. Of course, the police are called, probably hoping that this isn't going to be another Suicide Club in the making. Actually, this came out before that movie. Despite their co-worker killing himself, things go back to normal for everybody but Michi. They all decide to take a look at the computer disk that Taguchi was working on. They find an image of him standing eerily. On his monitor is an exact copy of the picture they're looking at. And in the monitor on the left is a face in it, but I'm surprised they even saw that. Look, the main point is that something strange is going on around here. It also seems to follow Michi's fine ass all the way back to her flat, causing her TV to glitch. She was pretty exhausted from turning it off though. Look, we can see things are going weird for Michi and her co-workers regarding Taguchi's suicide and that computer disk, but that's not the only ghostly thing going on. Elsewhere, an economics major named Ryosuke Kawashima is signing up for a new internet service. Once he's all signed up, instead of possibly connecting with others or whatever, his screen goes black. It again shows some random footage that he can just skip through. It then asked him if he would like to meet a ghost. Kawashima's response is surprising though. I thought he would be like, well, why not? While sleeping, his computer turns itself on and shows footage of someone sitting in a mask. Seems like a lot of these story time videos you see on YouTube are just like this. So Kawashima is not comfortable with computers, so he goes to the computer science department to see what's going on. I'm surprised he really even cared that much. A postgraduate student named Haruo Karasawa decides to tell him how to save the web page where the video popped up, either by bookmarking it or print screen capture. Since her last name is pretty similar to Kawashima, I'll just call her by her first name, Haruhi. Now, back to Michi and her friends. Yabe was the other guy who worked alongside Michi. One day, he gets a call, a disembodied voice asking for help. On his phone is the same image that he saw on that computer disk. So, he takes part in the same trip that Michi did and goes to Taguchi's room, the same guy who killed himself. He finds a crumbled up note saying, "The Forbidden Room." He also sees a black shadow mark where Taguchi's body was, which also becomes Taguchi for a split second. When he leaves, he comes across the room sealed off by red tape. I say that these rooms could possibly be like a portal in some ways to the other realm. Now listen, Yabe comes across a creepy spirit in black. You see, I would have been down the block running by now, but he's just watching her undulate and move like that. Hiding from the ghost isn't exactly the smartest decision he can take in the situation, but it gets a hold of Yabe. He survives, of course, but he becomes pretty withdrawn and distant from going into that closed-off room. Doesn't seem like the ghosts are really hurting anybody, more like revealing some kind of truth. Whenever they go inside a forbidden room, of course, speaking of, Michi seems to see some random lady in red taping down a door. So while she's just watching them, let's just go back to Kawashima's experience real quick. If you remember, his computer is plaguing him with random footage. He tries to bookmark this page and screen capture, but nothing works out. He angrily and fearfully unplugs his computer when the figure in the video begins to take his mask off. He goes back to the computer science department to ask for help and runs into his favorite girl. Haruhi offers to come to his room to check it out. Man, you should really have picked up your room before she came in. Regardless of all that, as soon as she checks out his computer, she starts getting cryptic. She thinks that Kawashima got on the internet to connect with others, you know, connect with big booty bitches and stuff. But she believes that individuals don't really connect and are most often separate from each other. So let's just keep that thought about her in mind. Okay, again, we're about to go back to Michi. Pretend we're just switching characters like it's Grand Theft Auto 5. Michi is having trouble talking to Yabe after he visited the sealed off room. He's quite withdrawn and lost the will to live after encountering that ghost. One crazy part though is that while just walking home, Michi sees that lady in red who is taping up a door. The lady jumps from a silo all the way down to her loud smack death. Michi handled that pretty well. I probably would have vomited or something like that. Alright, we gotta switch characters again. Doom, doom, doom. That's Grand Theft Auto 5 sound effects. Okay, look, Kawashima is at a library. He's never been here before. I don't know why he acting like he interested. He can't even find the exit. He must be looking for his crush, Haruhi. She's reading a book about phantoms, though. She drags him to the computer science lab to show him a program a grad student worked on. Well, she showed him before, but this time, the dots are acting more weird and ghostly. One thing for sure is that the haunted website and the program seems to be related. Cinema Nippon would touch up on this program a lot in their video too. Look how hard Kawashima is blushing when Haruhi gives him her number. I don't even recall him asking. I guess he just got it like that. I guess it's cool when being weird and awkward works out. Still, he goes back to the library to see what she was reading, but right after closing it, he sees a dark apparition. A grad student, I think the same one who made that program, tells Kawashima that this is a normal occurrence. Dark ghosts are just hanging about. The grad student has a theory. Spirits are becoming apparent in our human world because their spirit world has a finite amount of space. Therefore, spirits are overflowing into the human realm through various mediums, such as the internet. We don't see the grad student again, really. Okay, we're switching characters again. Doom, doom, doom. Now, if you remember Michi's situation, her co-worker Yabe lost his will to live, and various people around are just simply going missing. At one point, Michi gets a phone call asking for help. is Yabe's spirit voice,
Yep.
but that also must
Ain't no
mean
more
that
series.
he has
Past 9
died.
o'clock.
It seems as if he literally just became the Black Stain. Doesn't look like he actually killed himself with anything other than just willing himself away. Now, Michi only has one co-worker left, Junko, but she already succumbs to the desire to check out the sealed off rooms. Michi runs in to save her from seeing a spirit, but Junko pushes her away and gets a strong whiff of ghost in her system. Regardless, Michi drags her friend out of that room. However, just like the other two, Junko becomes withdrawn and hopeless. Michi has to take care of her and even feed her. At one moment, she goes to the corner store on West Shishifuku Street to buy some snacks. Y'all won't get that reference. But it's very empty. It's like people are just vanishing in thin air. Missing cases like those are very spooky, by the way. The store didn't seem to have any employees in it, unless you count this demon hiding behind. Michi was so scared that she shoplifted and ran all the way back home. Honestly, that was pretty hilarious. Hold up. You say you didn't want to switch characters so soon? Too bad. Back with Kawashima, he decided to hit Haruhi up, but she didn't answer. So instead, he goes straight to the lab. Looks like it's been vandalized though, possibly by some mean-ass ghosts. Anyway, he tries her apartment next, but really she was acting weird, standing in the rain. She's very crazed and concerned about them disappearing. Kawashima helps dry her off and gets her to calm down and relax. She also confides with him about an idea she has about life after death. Now, most people would like to think that once you die, you probably get to spend the afterlife with your past relationships who have also died, like family and friends. What most people don't consider though is that ghosts are lonely too. This is the idea that Haruhi is pondering, and it literally makes the afterlife seem almost as hopeless as no afterlife at all. Well, maybe that is pushing it, but I'm guessing my thinking is that the afterlife must be dark and barren in this film, and the only thing ghosts can do is overflow and affect people's thoughts. Now, Kawashima is naively disregarding all that. He doesn't want to think about death and afterlife and loneliness in the afterlife. He even suggests that in 10 years, they will have a pill that makes us all immortal. It's been 20 years and we still gotta teach grown people how to wash their hands. Back with Michi, she's having a hard time helping Junko, her co-worker who walked into the ghostly portal room. She asks, Am I gonna die like this? Honestly, she looks pretty dead already, but she states that, well, I'll just keep living on then. Well, that doesn't look like living to me. But what's the difference since we are both so lonely in either realm, apparently? Her stain becomes particles that spread all around the room and eventually exit, and this leaves Michi all by herself. Michi calls her mother to confide in her, but she doesn't answer. She takes the initiative again and runs towards her mom. Now elsewhere, Kawashima is all alone at some game place. It's empty except for a few dark ghosts here and there. Maybe the ghosts and humans should link up and go bar hopping. Soon he comes across Haruhi trashing plants and pottery for no reason. She's still pretty weird now, but he gets through to her by saying that we should go somewhere far away, like literally far away. The subway is the quickest way. As usual, there isn't anybody else around, but he reminds her that he is right there with her, that she isn't alone. I don't know specifically if this is like what she always thought or if it's because of the internet, but regardless, it's a little cute to see you all hugged up like that. But soon, the entire train stops in the middle of nowhere. Haruhi gets the strong compulsion to run all the way back home, and she leaves Kawashima looking all over for her. Somehow, she made it back in some unknown amount of time. She gets a front row seat to that video Kawashima was watching. She sees somebody take off the mask and then shooting themselves in the head. Then quickly on the other monitor, she can clearly see she's being projected. She seems to see the recording ghosts, but we don't. And she speaks to them saying that she's not alone now. She tries hugging that ghost, but that's really all we see. Pretty soon, Kawashima breaks in to find her, but of course, she isn't there. An announcer reads off several names of people going missing all over the Kanto region. It's pretty dead and broken all over Tokyo. At one point, Kawashima is just roaming around when he sees a car that died. In that car is, guess who? It's Michi. So, our two individuals meet for the first time. They hit it off pretty well too, and he helps her fix her car. They seem to be the only ones in the whole city. So regarding this whole loneliness thing, Michi asks Kawashima to ride along with her. She even helps him find the missing Haruo at her flat, but she still isn't there. Michi, however, looks out the window and notices an abandoned factory, and they both decide to check it out. It's pretty interesting that just looking out the window pointed her in the right direction. So they actually do randomly find Haruo at the warehouse, but she has a bag over her head like that ghostly person in that video. She doesn't look like she plans on killing herself though.
I was about to say.
Oops, looks like I spoke too soon.
Of course.
Well, goodbye Haruo. So, Haruo is gone. It leaves Kawashima and Michi alone together. Until they run out of gas. Kawashima goes looking for gas and gets some, but is compelled to go into a forbidden room right around the corner, and he sees a ghost like all the others. The thing about Kawashima though is that he rejects seeing the ghost and the isolation it projects, but that fails very quickly. So Kawashima exits the room by himself, unlike Junko, and Michi finds him, knowing he went in there. She finds him crouched on the ground in front of a black stain and drags him back to the car. They make their way through an abandoned city. It looks like a whole invasion happened. I guess the underworld has dipped into the human realm extremely by this point in the film. They both have this goal of getting as far away from Japan as possible and drive to the pier to get into a random ass boat that just so happens to be there. When getting keys for the boat, we see how lots of people probably died. They probably had this special will to die due to contact from isolated energies beyond this world. Also, a United States plane is falling down for some reason and it explodes. Pretty cool. Anyway, they get in the boat and drive away. Kawashima is willing despite being depressed and hopeless. And so, that is how we got to this point at the beginning of the movie. Michi and Kawashima were picked up by a ship going all the way to Latin America. The movie ends as Michi sits with Kawashima in his last moments, in which he slowly becomes a black stain like the others. This time was different though, and Michi feels as if she has done the right thing and has finally found some happiness. The end credit song slaps too. I really love these early 2000s Japanese horror films. Anyway, now that we felt the pulse, let's talk about the most disturbed moment and most enjoyed moment, and that's spooky stuff. Cue to Gohan.
Cue to Gohan.
Okay, to be honest, I'm sort of speechless. I'm asking myself what to make of this movie and its themes of eternal loneliness and the role of the internet in drifting us apart. Whether it was Michi's experience surrounding the forbidden rooms or Kawashima's experience surrounding the internet, it still begs to question how important connections are and the necessity they carry. The folks over at Cinema Nippon will dive deep into that abstract question, so make sure you check out their video in the eye at the top right. It's right there. So, let's get right into it. The most disturbed moment is quite seriously maybe when that lady in red fell down. Other than that, the whole depression cases just from viewing ghosts is kind of alarming too. At the same time, this film isn't trying to unnerve us in the extreme kind of way. The most enjoyed moment is usually picked during a break from all the sad and hectic things. That break was seen at the end when Michi found some kind of solace at the end. Other than that, the credit song slaps pretty good. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
I think that's what
Me and Cinema Nippon were organizing and communicating about this video for a couple months, and they worked pretty hard on their take. So,
well, that was the end of the video. Look, this wasn't as scary as the other ones. Don't get it wrong, bro. This dude right here, bro, he be looking at some good movies. Don't get it messed up. This is just one of them that was kind of lame, cause they ain't really had that much killing in there, and it wasn't really that disturbing. It was more of what happened, or it was like clues. It was that's how I feel. Like this wasn't really scared him. It was like, dang, I was trying to figure out what was really going on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he got some other ones, bro. Don't no cap, bro. They were like that. They ain't scary, but they'll get under your skin. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know what I'm talking about, they'll like get under your skin. Like that make you feel like, oh, okay, like we getting somewhere. I like this now, but don't get it wrong. I'm gonna keep doing these. That's if y'all like this. I won't really say vote on this one because this one really as exciting as the other ones. But I'm gonna do another one and see if y'all like that one. But other than that, I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment if you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on post notifications, post notifications again. Let me suggest in the comments below.